attempt to flee.
How's it going, everybody? Nico from Celeste here. Now, you want to know one thing that I absolutely love about slow news days? Well, it allows me to do two things. One, it allows me to dedicate a little bit more time into big projects, especially the one that's going to be coming out very soon, Celeste and Self-Discovery. But also, number two, it means I can go back through my video suggestion section in my Discord server and take a look at what people have been wanting me to at least make a video about. And well, once you know it, it just so happens that one particular video, suggested by my good friend Road Breach, ended up catching my eye. After all, he recently made his own video about this particular video in question, so I feel like I might as well do the same thing as well. But before we get into the actual topic at hand, I feel like I might as well give a few little updates that are going to be, going on with the channel. So first things first, obviously the next big project, Celeste and Self-Discovery, that video is going to be coming out hopefully at some point during this month. I have no idea exactly at what point during this month it's going to come out. All I know is that's going to be coming out this month because I'm unbelievably close to actually being able to put it all together. So keep an eye out for that one. But also, second of all, the last big project, One Shot in the Indomitable Spirit, that video is probably going to have to get re-uploaded, largely because the voice actress I ended up getting for Silver and Kip ended up turning out to be not so good of a person, and I don't really want them associated with, well, at least in my opinion, one of my greatest pieces of work. So likely that's going to get re-uploaded, probably with my own voiceover rather than the previous voice actress's voiceover for the characters. So just, if you see a re-upload of that particular video and the original one is like unlisted or something like that, then now you know why. But anyways, back to the actual topic at hand. The video that we're taking a look at here today is made by a man named Steve Shives. I know next to nothing about this man. He has made a video titled, "Video Games Should Be Easy." Yes, that's right, and another one of these stupid-ass videos in which people complain about harder difficulties in video games. And judging by the like-to-dislike ratio, yeah, to put it very simply, it seems to be one of his more controversial videos. So without any further ado, let us sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, and let's just dive right in.
There are people in the world who play video games on the highest level of difficulty, and I do not understand this.
We are only about like 10 seconds into this video, and I already have quite a few things to say. First of all, dude, take a breath! Your face is so fucking red, it looks like a tomato! But also second of all, you don't understand why people would play games on the highest difficulty? I mean, I can at least think of a good few reasons. One of the biggest ones being that they feel like challenging themselves, and that's really about it.
I'm not a gamer, but that doesn't keep me from having strongly held opinions about video games, and one of those opinions is this: video games should be easy.
Well, allow me to just quickly give you a solution. Play easier video games. I know, it's fucking wild.
Almost every video game I've ever played, because I'm not a gamer, but I have played a video game or two in my time, and almost every video game I've ever played has had a difficulty setting. I don't even remember the last time I played a video game on anything other than the easiest setting. Why are those other difficulty settings even there?
Well, allow me to just once again enlighten you and let you know that video games aren't specifically catered for you. They're catered for whatever the target audience just so happens to be. Those other difficulty settings, again, are for those that want to challenge themselves. Like, again, it's called Occam's fucking razor, dude.
Everyone's different. I realize that. Tastes vary. So I can't truthfully say that people who want difficult video games are wrong. All I can say is, I don't get it. I've had it explained to me. I understand it on an intellectual level, but I don't get it. Once I asked a friend of mine who plays a lot of video games what they get out of playing games that are hard to beat, and they told me, I like the challenge. And I said, oh, I get that. You're way too invested in video games.
What the fuck? Wow, okay. First of all, how in the fuck is that a problem? Like, people who are invested in video games, how is that supposed to be a problem? Like, you're using this almost as if it's like an insult. But also, second of all, okay, allow me to just enlighten you on something like that. Just because they want to challenge themselves, first of all, doesn't mean that they're too invested in video games. It just means that they want to challenge you, Nimwit. Oh my fucking god!
You play video games on a higher level of difficulty because you like the challenge. You know what I do when I feel like a challenge? I lead my life. I'm not telling you my life is exceptionally challenging, by the way. It's not. I'm just a massive wuss.
Well, at least you're completely honest right there that you're just a fucking pussy, but also second of all, I just don't understand this kind of logic. Oh, well, you know, my intellectual inferior, you dare want a greater challenge. Well, why don't you try living in the real world? Okay there, Reddit, calm the fuck down.
Some things in life are unavoidably hard. There's nothing you can do to make them easier. You just have to endure the best you can. But if there is a way to make something easier, I'd like it to be as easy as possible, please. Especially if the something in question is something as frivolous as a video game.
Why are we comparing video games to real fucking life? Isn't this the exact same fucking fallacious garbage that stupid, legislators like to use whenever they try and compare gun violence to video games? Like, Jesus fucking Christ, this is actually beginning to aggravate me. What is this fucking comparison that he's trying to make here? I don't even know what he's trying to actually pull here. Is he trying to make a fucking point, or is he just trying to confuse the audience?
Before all you righteously indignant gamers come at me, accusing me of shitting on video games as a medium, that's not what I'm doing. I understand why you might be upset if you thought that's what I was doing.
Well, thankfully for you, that's not what I thought that you were doing. What I thought you were doing was being a fucking moron by trying to compare video games to real life.
I know that video games can be a medium for serious, intelligent, emotionally involving, socially relevant, and thematically rich storytelling. I'm not arguing otherwise. All I'm saying is, if I play your video game with the beautifully written story on the highest difficulty setting, I'm probably not gonna make it to your impeccably crafted and deeply resonant ending.
Well, congratulations, because, well, a lot of those games that usually have incredibly impactful stories, at least most of the ones that I played, don't really have that much of a difficulty slider. Like, for example, let me just bring one up to you, fucking Celeste. I mean, sure, the assist mode fucking exists, but let's put it this way. First of all, I didn't even know that existed until after I already beat the game. But also, second of all, I wouldn't exactly consider the assist mode to kind of be, I guess, like an easy mode. It's more just a cheat mode at the end of the day, so I wouldn't really consider it as a difficulty slider. And also, I guess, probably one that more people probably know about is the Souls series. Those games have an immense amount of storytelling to them, but they only have one difficulty mode, the default setting, which will likely hand your ass to you 10 times over, and that's the point. The point is to overcome a challenge, and that is part of the fucking storytelling within both of those games, overcoming a challenge. Oh yeah, and also one last thing I feel like pointing out right here, and this is just mainly, well, pointing out the fucking obvious here that I've already pointed out beforehand, but usually even if those games have a difficulty slider, they're completely optional, so I don't know why it doesn't really negate my overall point here. It just further proves my point that, well, he's just an idiot for complaining about the fact that higher difficulties exist when they're entirely fucking optional.
If a story is intellectually or emotionally challenging, I can do that. I'm all about that. But if it's technically challenging, fuck that shit. Who wants to watch a movie where you can't get to the next scene unless you're able to push the right buttons in the right order fast enough?
Well, first of all, that's not really called a movie. That's called a QuickTime event, moron. But also, second of all, these fucking comparisons are making these comparisons are making less and less sense as time goes on. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, this man somehow has more ADHD than I do, and that's saying something.
A lot of people, apparently, but have I mentioned yet that I don't get it?
Yes, you have. Probably at least 5 times by now within the first 3 fucking minutes of this video, and I'm getting sick and tired of it. Please explain to me why you don't get it, just as much as I don't get your fucking video so far. Like, right now you're trying to compare, like, apples to fucking, like, you know, Apache helicopters right now, and none of these make sense.
Earlier I said that even though I'm not a gamer, I have played a video game or two in my time. In recent years, most of the games I've played have been mobile games.
Well, that explains a lot.
And I have 2 of them currently downloaded on my phone. One is a game called Flow Free, which is a puzzle game where you connect the same color dots on a board. The other is a collection of solitaire games, which I use mostly to play free cell. Know what these 2 games have in common? They're both Easy as shit!
Yeah, because they're fucking mobile games. Did you expect a mobile game to be difficult? Again, we're making very weak-ass comparisons here. Like, mobile games are fucking mobile games. They're meant to just kind of, like, shut your brain off and just kind of, like, fuck around. Of course they're gonna be easy as shit. No fucking shit, you moron! But, like, other video games, I'm not gonna say real video games, because that's... I don't want to come across as like one of those stupid gatekeeping dumbasses, but like other video games, you know, stuff that's on like consoles and PCs, obviously those have a lot more thought put into them because of the amount of resources that, you know, you at least have at your fucking disposal. Of course there's gonna be a lot more in those kinds of video games. Again, you're making a stupid fucking comparison!
Occasionally there will be a flow-free board that takes me 2 or 3 tries to solve, but that's about as tough as it gets. I have yet to play a free cell game on anything other than easy mode, and guess what? I've never lost! I have a perfect record on my free cell game.
Wouldn't that just get boring after a while? Like, I'm just actually asking a genuine question right now. Doesn't that just get boring after a while, just constantly winning one after another? Wouldn't you at least like to have a challenge that actually makes your brain think a little bit more? I mean, hell, that's one of the main reasons why I even enjoyed One Shot, is because of the puzzles that make you think. Like, the puzzles are relatively easy when you really begin to think about them, but from, like, a first-timer's perspective, you're just kind of sitting there going like, oh, what the fuck do they mean by this? Like, that's why I enjoy it. That's why I enjoy those kinds of games that make me think. And same thing with, I guess you could call the Souls series kind of similar to that one. It's a game that requires you to at least understand pattern recognition, so that way you can get past a difficult challenge. And if you don't know the patterns, well then you're fucked, okay? That's basically the long and short of that entire story, okay? You're screwed. And when it comes to a lot of the other games that I play, even the ones that do have a difficulty slider, I guess like Ultra Kill, you still kind of have to understand what you're actually going into and understand what combos work. Even the easiest difficulties require you to think at least a little bit, and honestly, I love it whenever, like, you know, even on, like, standard difficulty in Ultra Kill, I love it when, you know, I don't really get a perfect rank all the time, because it means that there's still some room for improvement here and there, and it makes me drive myself to actually try to improve and become better at the game. Meanwhile, apparently, I guess you're content at sitting at fucking rock bottom, I guess. I don't know, man. I guess we're just built different.
I'm not bragging. Bragging about how good I am at a video game would be a very silly thing to do, even if I didn't make winning the game as easy as possible. I'm just saying, being able to win the game is one of the main reasons I enjoy playing the game.
And once you know it, those other games that have difficulty sliders and you can play the games at the highest difficulty, 9 times out of 10 you're still able to beat those games. I mean, hell, Hakita thought that P-2 was going to be impossible to beat on brutal difficulty. People have already done that 10 times over and have even P-ranked the fucking level. So of course nothing is fucking impossible, dude. It's just going to be a little bit tougher and it's going to make you think just a little bit more on what the fuck you're supposed to do rather than just shutting your brain off and just kind of twiddling your fucking thumbs.
Remember like 20 years ago when Sudoku puzzles suddenly got really popular here in the US? When my local paper started printing a daily Sudoku in the puzzle section, I tried it out. I was interested. I've always been pretty good at crossword puzzles, and it's a similar premise, only with numbers. I haven't attempted a Sudoku in, let's see, I guess it would be about 20 years.
Let me guess, because it was too difficult for you and it required you to actually use your fucking brain?
Know why? Because I suck at them. They're too fucking hard. Math puzzles? What was I thinking? My brain can't do that shit.
Well, you see, that's why you actually try to strive to actually become better, rather than just being content in the fact that you suck. Like, I get it, okay? You can kind of, like, give up and, like, take a break or something like that. But honestly, I just don't understand this kind of almost defeatist mindset where it's just like, well, I suck at something, so I'm not gonna fucking try ever again. Whenever it comes to some of the other challenges within some video games I played, hell, even on stream and whatnot, I feel content at least maybe coming back to them at some point and trying them out again when I'm, you know, actually better at them. Like, for example, the Vengeance route in Undertale Yellow. I might come back to that one when I've shut all my emotions off or something along those lines. Jesus fucking Christ, that route kills me, man. I can't handle Starlow's death, but you get my point, okay? I'm bound to come back at some point rather than just give up and never try again, because, well, again, I guess we're just built different. I guess this guy is built to just give up the moment that something challenges him even just a little bit. Meanwhile, I'm at least content to, you know, take a break for however long it may take, and then come back whenever I'm like, you know what, I haven't beaten this yet. I'm gonna try it again.
I was an English major, for Christ's sake. So, I stopped.
Yeah, and guess what? I ended up getting a fucking certification in digital film and video production, and look at me now, playing fucking video games that require my brain to think. So what?
Okay, let me tell you something about me. There's another video game that I play every now and then, Doom 2. Classic first-person shooter, right? When I was a kid and it first came out, I played it all the time. I loved it. These days, Doom 2 is one of the games you can find in the Internet Archive's arcade section, and sometimes if I find myself with some free time and I want to just have some mindless fun, I load Doom 2, turn down the game's music and sound effects, and put on some music of my own, and I play Doom 2 right there in my web browser and have a great time for however long it takes until I get bored with it, usually between half an hour and an hour. Not only do I play Doom 2 on the easiest skill level, I believe that would be the I'm too young to die setting, I load that fucker up with cheat codes. And now that I mention it, that's another thing about video games I don't get. Why are there cheat codes? Why do you need to know the secret handshake to activate certain options? Why isn't this stuff just checkboxes in the settings menu? God mode? Yes, please. Check. Infinite ammo? Don't mind if I do. Check.
Well, you see, they're hidden away, so that way, well, one, players who don't know about the secret, the quote, secret handshake to enable them, can at least still be able to play the game as it was, I guess you could say, intended to be played, and actually just play the game as it is, right there, on whatever difficulty setting that they want to, and be able to experience it in its raw and unfiltered form. The cheat codes kind of mainly exist for players to, I guess, just kind of have fun. I mean, hell, it's the main reason why in Postal 2, you don't really unlock the cheats until after you've at least beaten, like, the first 5 days of the game, okay? You don't unlock the cheats until you reach, like, Saturday and Sunday, and, from there you can just kind of fuck around and have fun, okay? That's just kind of the point. With the cheat codes, you kind of have to have a code, so that way people don't just cheat their way through the game. I mean, hell, even with games like Ultra Kill that do, in fact, have, like, a cheat mode, you don't really get any ranks for playing, using cheats. I mean, sure, you can probably just fuck around and, I guess, have fun, but at the end of the day, you're not really experiencing the game. You're kind of just cheating your way through it, and in my personal opinion, I can only find that... I can now understand why you actually get bored after about, like, 30 minutes to an hour, because you just kind of cheat your way through the game, and you aren't really experiencing the game. You're just kind of flying through it without any consequence, and honestly, I just kind of find that to be extremely fucking boring.
Sometimes, if I don't feel like Doom 2, I'll play Wolfenstein 3D instead, which is also available to stream on Internet Archive. Makes for a nice change of pace. Maybe I don't feel like killing demons. Maybe I feel like killing Nazis. Same deal as Doom, though. I make it as easy to play as possible. The easier it is, the more fun it is.
I mean, I guess that's where you and I kind of disagree. Where I feel comfortable whenever it comes to difficulty, I usually try to play games. For me, I usually play games on, like, if there is a difficulty slider, I might add, I usually try to play it on, like, what is the closest to, like, the medium difficulty, as that's kind of, I guess, where you could say the intended difficulty is kind of meant to be. Like, for example, with Ultra Kill, it's usually somewhere between standard and violent, okay? Obviously, the higher difficulties are for those who want an extra challenge, and the lower difficulties are for those who don't really feel like that they are quite ready for even standard, and that's perfectly fine in my personal opinion, I'm not gonna be like one of those stupid Ultra Kill backseaters that say, oh, you're playing on lenient or harmless? Go fuck yourself. You shouldn't be playing Ultra Kill. You should be playing fucking Weenie Hut Juniors or something like that. Like, I'm not one of those people. Play the game however you want at the end of the day, but if you're going to be complaining about people playing other difficulties or using cheats or anything along those lines, or even complaining about the fact that cheats are hidden away, then that is a point at which I have to ask, dude, are you okay? Like, do you just have a problem with you? Like, none of this is making any kind of sense to me. And maybe I guess that's the point. It's not supposed to make sense. It's just supposed to be a bunch of word fucking salad at the end of the day to, I just confuse the fucking audience. I don't really understand this entire video. It just seems to be a lot of mindless bitching at the end of the day, and I think I'm just gonna end the video off right here because it's just... I don't know, man. It hurts my brain. But yeah, anyways, guys, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like. That's very well appreciated. Leave a comment down below what you thought about the video, what you want me to talk about next, and also subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want to see more content such as this. Also, follow me on Twitter, join the Discord server, you get the point. And yeah, anyways, guys, it's been Sandy. And have yourselves a nice day.